Okay, so New Game Plus Expo just happened, and at the beginning of the presentation, Suda51 came out and started talking about his backlog with No More Heroes 3 gameplay in the background, just casually, and then didn't show anything else. But it was still No More Heroes 3 gameplay, and I like No More Heroes, so of course, I see this, and I'm going to do my best, despite his face being in front of it, to analyze everything in this trailer. Or, it's not a trailer, but, gameplay. It's basically a sneak peek. So, moving ahead a bit to the UI, you've got, the typical stuff. You've got the battery up here, you've got your health. And then down here, you've got what I think is, like, the power-up meter, because later in the trailer, around here, you can see the, right there.
インディーゲームもね、たくさんダウンロードしてますので、そのぐらい。
You can see the 3 cherries line up, like you get a power up in No More Heroes. So it's that implies that it's probably going to be more like No More Heroes 2 in that you can get power ups during boss fights. Because you can't do that in No More Heroes 1, except in Bad Girls Fight, but other than that. But anyways, there's also these 4 squares right here, which might not be what I think they are, but the impression that I get, and from what I've heard from interviews, this is probably representative of the D-pad, and then the D-pad will be pushed to use special abilities carried over from Travis Strikes Back, where you've got different moves and modules for the Death Glove or whatever. So that's probably going to make a return, which is going to expand Travis's moveset more. And what you can also notice in the background here is the boss now has like a proper health bar that's at the top of the screen at all times. Now, I don't know if all of the bosses are going to be like this. There might be some more typical bosses. We only saw this one. Maybe there's going to be like human boss fights, and then like alien boss fights are the big ones, or like the major bosses. I don't know. I mean, you can only gather so much. The other thing that you see this boss doing, I'm going to mute this because it's kind of obnoxious loud with Suda talking over it, but you see him like throwing stuff. You see the boss throwing stuff all over the place, like little whirlpools. He's like teleporting all over the arena. He's a much more active boss than most No More Heroes bosses are. It looks like he reminds me more of a Bayonetta boss than a No More Heroes boss, which I find interesting. It could be that they're looking to expand bosses a bit, because what you can see, and if I skip ahead to like around here, see Travis doing a bunch of, I'm assuming you can see Travis doing a bunch of dodge rolls here, and then the boss does this shockwave move, which if you notice here, you can see Travis do a jump over, and that leads me to believe that there's probably going to be a more advanced movement system where you're going to be able to jump, dodge, and it's just going to be far more in-depth than No More Heroes has had before. Maybe the jump move might lead to more complex stages. This is all just speculation. I don't have any actual ideas on what this is going to be like. There's very limited gameplay, but I wanted to analyze it anyways because it's the first piece of No More Heroes gameplay that we've seen. The music that plays in the background of this boss is Phantom Skate from Red Orca's Wild Tokyo album. So it's definitely going to use a lot of music from that album, as seen in the other 2 No More Heroes 3 trailers, where they used Orca Force and Octopus in the trailers. So they're definitely going to use that album a lot. I don't know if they're going to have more than just that, probably. But maybe a lot of the bosses are going to use that album. I'm pretty sure that's been said before. But all of this stuff kind of looks pretty cool. I would like to be able to see in more depth what it is like, because, Suda51's face is in front. No, we don't care about your backlog, dude. We just want to see the game, bro. Okay, so in addition, in this gameplay trailer, Travis, when you see him, is much smaller in terms of the camera is more pulled back than it was in No More Heroes 1 and 2. It looks far more zoomed out. Now, that could just be for this boss, because it's a very big boss. Maybe the camera zooms out for bosses that are, like, massive. Because this guy is, like, 10 feet tall. So, maybe the camera is zoomed out for these specific bosses. Or maybe not. At first I thought, is this boss entirely through without lock-on? But there is sort of a lock-on thing here. So what that leads me to believe is maybe smaller bosses will have a closer camera and stuff like that. Or when you're in the stages. Of course, we don't know that. This is very limited gameplay to go off of. But it's very interesting. What you can also see here, now this is very speculative because I can't actually see it, but if you look kind of closely, you see these yellow things over the boss that keep changing. Now that could just be like the center of the thing, or what could be cool, maybe that's a hit counter, like in No More Heroes 1, where it counts how many times you've hit the boss. So you see, if I like slow it down a bit here to get a proper look at that. There's a few hits getting in there. Okay, no. You see that? That's definitely a hit counter right there. See? It says that's a number, and then it says hit. Yeah, okay. That's definitely a hit counter from No More Heroes 1. So that's interesting that they brought that back, because that was one of my favorite things in No More Heroes 1, is seeing how many times you hit the boss. So seeing that come back for No More Heroes 3 is exciting, because it wasn't in No More Heroes 2. And that's nice, in addition to having a big health bar at the top of the screen. But that's all of the stuff that I noticed from this. We'll have to see what kind of stuff is shown, but this is my impressions on it so far.